I will now teach you everything you need to know about the handstand in order for you to perform your first hold. We will go through techniques behind the handstand, muscle building exercises for you to gain enough strength, and then finally balancing drills to master the balance. If we can have all of those three, we have everything we need to master the handstand. Let's start off with the techniques behind it. Hand placements. A good start is to have shoulder width apart, but if you feel like you're more comfortable wider or slightly tighter, then do that. Another important thing is with our hands. We don't want to have our fingers locked together. We want to expand them out, creating a bigger surface area, allowing us to have better grip with the ground. Since our fingers are further away, we will have more leverage to actually push away with the wrist, making the balancing easier. Moving upwards on the body, next part is about the arms. And the crucial thing here is to always keep them locked. A common mistake in the beginning is to have some slight bend because we feel comfortable there, and that's true because we're activating more muscles. However, we're using more strength in the bent arm than in the locked arm. So try to always have locked arm already from the beginning, so we rely more on balance than actual strength. Moving on to the core and glutes. In the handstand, we want to form a hollow body position, which means that we want to be squeezed, forming the hollow body. However, it is really easy to start arching. But I have a tip I want to share that helped me a lot to correct this problem. So what you want to think about is moving your hip over your head. Since our hip is moving forward, this means that our legs need to go the opposite way in order for us to keep balance. And this automatically causes us to be in a hollow body position. The difference between training on the floor and the parallels. On the floor, we will have a greater surface area, allowing us to have better control in the forward direction, easier to push away. However, we don't have much control backwards. If we're falling that way, we can't really push with anything. That's one major difference. The other thing is the wrist position. If we train a lot of handstand, I would recommend using a set of parallels. And the reason is because we are in a natural position with the wrist, meaning that the pressure on us is not going to be as high. Whereas on the floor, we are at a 90-degree angle, often leaning forward, causing a lot of strain here, which can cause pain if you don't do proper warm-up or don't have the flexibility for it. Whereas on the parallels, the wrists are in a natural position and we can move in all directions without putting any extra strain on the wrists. Now you know all the techniques behind the handstand, but let me teach you which exercises you can train to strengthen the muscles that are actually involved in it. Let's start off with how we strengthen the wrists, because they play a major part in the handstand in keeping balance and connection with the ground. First up is wrist push-ups. We can start off on our knees, lean forward, and then push up with the wrists, keeping our arms locked. If you want to make this exercise harder, we can stand up on our feet and then push up from here. If you have access to weights, this is a great exercise, and it's called wrist curls. You grab a weight, place it on the edge, and do curls only using the wrists. This third one is slightly more complicated, but it's a great one. It's called frog stand leans. The concept is to enter the frog stand, lean forward, and then only using our wrists, press away from the ground. So locked arms, lean, and then press away. We don't need to be in the position for long. The concept is to train our wrists. So really feel the connection with the floor, squeezing it, lean forward, press away. Let's move on to how we strengthen the shoulders. First exercise I will show is the pike handstand. The concept here is to have both hands, locked arms, starting off here and then walking up with the bum as high as possible, pushing your shoulders downward and your head in between. We can also make this exercise dynamic by introducing pike handstand push-ups. We will enter the same position, but from here we'll do handstand push-up, moving our head forward in front of our hands before then pushing back up. And the way we can progress with both of these exercises is by elevating our feet. So take a bench or a box or something to have your feet on. We then enter the same position. We can either do the holds or train the push-ups. Next up, we have handstand walk-ups. The concept is to start in a push-up position on the floor and then walk ourselves up into the handstand and then repeat, building significant shoulder strength and also being comfortable with entering the handstand position. Next exercise I will show is for training the static shoulder strength. The position is called baby handstand. It's simulating the handstand against the wall and holding the position, conditioning our shoulders. So we start off by walking ourselves upwards. We need some space now to the wall. Then we will bring our knees into a tuck position, holding the static. Let's move on to some exercises that will strengthen our core. First up, we have the hollow body hold. We start off flat on the ground, straight arms, straight legs, and we will slightly lift up from the ground. The closer to the ground, the better it's gonna be, simulating the handstand. So we're not holding up here, but rather around here. Next up is knee raises. We need something to grip onto, preferably a bar. Then we will raise up our knees slightly above 90-degree angle before then coming down. The more controlled, the slower we do it, the better it's gonna be. If this is too easy, we can do it with straight legs. Go 90-degree, come back down. And then if that's also too easy, you can go all the way up. Now we know all the techniques behind the handstand and which exercises to build strength for it. But the final part is now to master drills that will give us the balance control. If you watched this far, it most likely means that you're enjoying this type of content. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss videos just like this one. The first balancing drill is gonna be handstand leg swaps against the wall. We will enter a handstand position, have one foot against the wall, and then swap as controlled as possible. I'll show you a few reps. Walk up. Bum out, one leg, and then swap. The more controlled we do it, the better it's gonna be. Sidewall handstand. The concept is to kick up in a straddle handstand and having one foot as an extra support. The closer we are, the better it's gonna be. And if you are a bit afraid of kicking up, you can do it in a corner. And at that point, if you fall over, you will just hit the wall. Pretty close to the wall. We kick up, and this is the foot that I will touch with the wall. The less pressure I have on this foot, the better it's gonna be. Handstand holds with one leg support. The concept here is to be in a handstand position pretty close to the wall and only having one foot as a support. The less pressure we can have on it, the better it's gonna be, simulating the real handstand. We back up pretty close with the hands. We take out one leg and see if you can find the balance for a few seconds. If not, you come back to the wall. Last drill I want to show is something that was a game changer for my handstand progress. It is sidewall handstand swaps. The same principle as the last one we did, but this time we'll put the feet together and then come back out to the wall. Together, come back out. And the slower, the more control we get, the better it's gonna be for our balance training. And eventually you will gain enough control to actually go into the handstand and hold that position. Same procedure, the closer to the wall, the better. Kick up, find the balance, in, out. I really hope you found this tutorial helpful. But if you feel like you need more help, I have a free program that you can join where I show more exercises, more drills, and tell you exactly how many sets, reps you should perform and how often during the weeks you should train. It is completely free, and you will also be able to chat with me if you want further help. So I will leave the link up here and also in the description. Hit the like, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Choo-choo!